with Walleye player Brendan Kotick. Brendan, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So what do you expect to happen this season?
I expect Toledo to win the Kelly Cup.
So you guys won last year, if I'm correct.
We went to the Kelly Cup, but we lost in Game 6, yeah.
But you made a lot of progress.
Yes, we did, yeah.
What do you plan to do better this season?
I think, obviously, win more games because we came too short, but I think we want to try and score some more goals and keep more pucks out of our net. We're going to have to do a good job of defending, but I think it's going to come through the offense. We've got a lot of good forwards up there this year.
Is there any pressure to do good from friends, family, and just everyday Toledoans?
Not so much my family. They're back in Canada, so just besides my parents, I don't really watch. But the fans for sure is a big thing. You'll be getting groceries at the local store, and people come up expecting big things out of you this year. So it's kind of a lot of pressure there, but it's good.
So does the pressure from the fans affect how you play?
No, not at all. I mean, unless you're looking at the Facebook pages where they just shred you, but no, it's good.
So what does the support from the fans do for you?
Oh, I mean, it's unbelievable. We love, the rink's sold out every game, and like I said, it's nice to fans interact with us when we're out and all that. But yeah, there's some talking on Facebook about us. So.
So the Walleye recently signed Manny Gluttis. What are your thoughts about this decision?
It's great. We've only been together a couple days here, but he talked to me at the end of practice today, and it's kind of tough. Newer guys, you don't interact with them as much, but it's nice to be able to get out and get to know guys.
So what does the support from the coaching staff do for you, and really what do you guys discuss and that helps you play better in the game?
The coaches do a really good job of doing the video and breaking down each game. So Deli will call us in, or Waddy, and they'll go through the clips that we had from previous games and where we can improve. And I think that that's a major thing in today's game. There's always ways you can get better, and so when they do that and really visualize it, I think guys really take that in a lot better.
Brendan, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I'm here with Walleye player Shane Burschbach. Shane, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So what do you What do you expect to happen this season?
I expect another successful season here in Toledo. I think we're built really strong again like the last season, and we're expecting to make a really long, deep playoff run and try and get that cup.
What do you plan to do better this season?
I think we need to work on a couple parts of our game as a team. I think offensively we need to produce more and working on scoring those big-time goals in the big moments. And defensively, I think you can always improve on keeping pucks out of your net and getting out of your zone faster and continuing to be a better team.
What were some things that happened last season that you're still to this day just regret about doing last season?
Geez, that's a tough one. But I guess we could always say wish we gave just a little bit more effort in that Newfoundland series there at the end. I wish we really could have pulled that last game out in Toledo. Wish we could have taken all three there, and I think that would have really helped us in that series.
So how do the fans react to all the different plays that you did last season?
The fans, they're always supportive, either if it's criticism or, they're encouraging us, it's because they care, and I think, when they get upset, they usually have a good reason for it, and, we just work, to keep them happy and put the best product on the ice.
So when you're playing against all these different competitors, what's going through your mind?
Just try not to get run over. No, I mean, just do whatever you can out there and play as a team, and usually the best outcomes come from that.
Well, Shane, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm Jaden. I'm here with TJ. Now, before we even started this interview, you were talking about your favorite superheroes and ones that you know. So what are your favorite superheroes? And yes, I'm going to ask this part of the question, too. What universe do they belong to?
Favorite superhero, probably Batman, and that's a DC guy.
Okay.
But I also like Iron Man, so he's a Marvel, though. Iron Man, though, I like the movies, so it's fun to watch those. But I'm also a huge Disney guy, so anything Disney, anything hero related to that, but mostly because my son loves Disney. So Frozen's pretty popular in my household, so Kristoff and Olaf, Princess Elsa, so I'm kind of over the map, but it's good.
So you're going to be playing on the ice this season, so I have to ask about that. So when you're going to be playing on the ice this season, what do you expect to do this season that's better, and what could you improve on from last season?
Well, obviously, to win, you got to be hoisting that trophy at the end of the year is a huge improvement from last year. Not that last year was a failure, obviously, getting to the finals there and playing as well as we did as a group, as a team, and seeing this atmosphere, this city go crazy. You want to be able to just win that last game at the end of the year, and that'd be hoisting the trophy. So that'd be the biggest improvement we can do. Individually wise, I'll be the oldest guy in the room, so just be someone is there for the guys. Be an olive branch, try and help the guys in any way you can, and as a group, just try and get over that hump. Make sure you're the last team standing at the end of the year.
So when you get negative feedback and positive feedback, how does that affect you?
I've been around long enough and seen a lot of coaches to know that at some point in the season, at some point, you're going to get some negative criticism, but they're just trying to get you to be a better person, a better player. You got to take that for what it is. You got to be mentally strong. You got to move on. Everyone makes mistakes every day, every shift. I've been around for 13 years, and I'll be 34 this year, so I've made plenty of mistakes. But the quicker you can put a mistake behind you and move forward, the better it is for yourself and for the team.
So you mentioned your coaches. So how do your coaches help you in playing? What is the best advice they've given you?
It could be the littlest thing to the biggest thing, but right now the biggest thing in hockey I feel like is video. You use video all the time. It's easier to see your mistakes on video, and you go from there. Some of your mistakes are so small that the average fan wouldn't notice them, and some of them are so big that everyone can't miss them. So, coaches, especially this group, I have a great relationship with them. They're easy to get along with. Usually when they're giving you negative criticism, it's not in a negative way. It's still in a positive way, and they're just trying to get you to get better. And like I said, I'll be turning 34 this year. They're still going to try and push me to the next level, and that's what you want out of your coaching staff. And like I said, as a group, we're trying to strive and get better each and every day.
So you guys made it to the Kelly Cup Finals. So what was the emotion when you did make it to the Kelly Cup Finals? How big of an achievement was that for you?
Well, actually, for me, I ended up leaving in February to go to San Jose. But like I've said to a lot of people before, it's tough to watch the team that you leave go to the finals. You want to be a part of that atmosphere. You want to try and find a way to help that group get over the hump, like I said. So I didn't miss any game. I watched live on BCSN. All playoff atmosphere was exciting. You wish those guys the best, but it was tough to watch because you want to be a part of that. So my goal as an individual, as a team, is to try and get back to that spot, and like I said, get over that hump.
So what is it like? What's the atmosphere like between you and your teammates? What kind of relationship do you guys have?
It's usually fun. It's exciting. It's very outgoing, very friendly. We got a good locker room, a good group of guys. You're always joking around, always trying to push each other in a positive way. And sometimes that makes or breaks a season. It can make or break a win. The relationships that you build over the course of the year become stronger. And the stronger the relationships are as a group, I think it's only more beneficial as a team.
Well, TJ, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm here with Tyler from the Walleye. Well, Tyler, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm sitting next to a celebrity from Toledo, and I know my mom sees it. She's going to be very jealous.
Thank you. What do you expect to happen this season, and what are some improvements that you are making this season, and how are they going to help you out?
I think, the main focus here is to get back to the Kelly Cup. We were so close last year, and to win it for the city would just be unbelievable. The city deserves it way more than any of us do, in my opinion. As far as the adjustments making, just for me, I was a rookie last year, and my first year was cool. I got to play in the Kelly Cup and all that, but I think me being more prepared early into the season, so I can just keep getting better, and peak at the right time, and then go into playoffs not knowing how it is, and kind of using that experience to hopefully help this team raise the Kelly Cup.
So this season, it's a new season, and the city of Toledo has always had the Walleyes back. So really, what is the city of Toledo doing for you that's helping you?
Oh, just providing an atmosphere to play in that is so fun, and as a player, we feed off that energy. And you've been to games and you see how passionate they are. It's something that I truly enjoy because you go to so many teams throughout this league and they don't have what we have. So you can't take it for granted, but we do feed off of it, and it makes a huge advantage for home games.
What is the goal during the game? So while you're playing, what are some goals that you have in mind?
Just for me, it's keep it pretty simple and do whatever I can personally to help the team win, because that's all that matters, right? Is if we do what we're supposed to do and end the game, winning. That's why we're here, and it's really fun to win at home because of the just the backdrop here, you can just see how awesome the crowd is.
Well, Tyler, thanks for joining us.
I have a couple questions for you. Could I interview you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Okay. All right. So, pretty busy couple weeks here for you. What has been your favorite thing so far?
Favorite thing so far? Man, I couldn't decide. I would probably have to say just, doing the Oprah interview, I would say that's probably one of my favorites, my most recent. And I would also say coming back to Toledo and getting back into the groove of covering Toledo.
Yeah,
news.
so returning home, has it been a lot of people have been congratulating you and reaching out to you and all that?
Yeah, definitely. I've gotten a lot of reaction just from being on my stories and just from walking.
How is school when you go to school?
It's always great, it feels a lot better this year,
Yeah.
and I'm really enjoying it.
I hear today is a big day for you. Could you explain what's going on today, maybe at 4:30 p.m.?
Well, happening today, I will be airing my interview with Oprah on The Ellen Show.
Oh, wow, that's pretty exciting. What do you got any plans for that?
Nothing really, I don't know. Maybe just watching the interview, enjoying it, and maybe, having celebratory dinner.
And I have to ask, Oprah to me would be a very intimidating person to interview just because how powerful she is. How is Oprah? Is she nice and friendly? And
Very. I would say she's very friendly, she's very kind, very down to earth.
that's awesome. And then Brad Pitt, I'm going to ask you this question. You don't have to answer, but if you had to take anyone to dinner, Brad Pitt, Ellen, or Oprah, who would you pick?
Man, I would have to just do Ellen just for having me on the show.
Ellen, yeah.
That's what I would have to say.
And last question. What are the chances Ellen, Brad Pitt make it to a Walleye game, you think?
Ooh, I think there's definitely a chance that might happen.
And you did all that. So if they do show up, on behalf of the Walleye players, we thank you. It would be nice to have some big names in the crowd, but good luck with you, and I hope you keep growing and keep, just making the most out of what you're doing. It's awesome.
Thank you.
No problem. Appreciate it.
Well, I'm here with Cody Sol, and as you can see, he's way too tall for our cameras. So, Cody, I got to ask about this. You are 6'6". How do you think you've become so tall?
Good genes. My parents are tall, and we originate from the Netherlands, which is the tallest country in the world. So I think the family background of being Dutch has definitely helped in my height for sure.
So I've asked about you being 6'6". So how does that benefit you being on the Walleye team?
It benefits me because I can see everything pretty good. I get a good bird's eye view up here. But I think I add size and level of toughness. Obviously size is just by looking at you get that kind of respecting for that. So I think if you come in here, I can add, especially Kotick, he's a big guy too. So it adds just a level of intimidation for other teams. So
you used to play for a major rival, Fort Wayne. I must ask, what do you think the atmosphere is going to be like this season? How do the fans going to feel about this?
I would imagine the first little bit, there might be a bit of adjustment period, but I feel like the way I can play and the player I am, I think it'll be a quick turnover from hate me to love me pretty quick.
So what do you think made you change teams?
The chance to win a championship, with them going to the conference finals last year, and from guys I talked to with Nagel and their coach and Watson, from the information that I heard and from what they needed, I think I fit a role and I fit a piece that this team needs. And I think being an older player, I'm going to my 8th year pro, and I'm not sure how many more years I have left to play because sometimes it's going to run out eventually. But I want a championship under my record. So.
Do you consider yourself 100% dedicated to the Walleye?
100% dedicated. I'm dedicated to whatever jersey I'm wearing on my front of my chest. So even though in Fort Wayne I had a lot of good times there, and I met a lot of people, and I have a lot of good friends and stuff from that city, but now I'm part of the Toledo Walleye organization, and that's what I'm going to play for.
Cody, thanks for joining
No problem.
us.
Thanks for having me.
I'm Jaden Jefferson. I am here alongside Pat Nagel. Pat, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
So you used to play for a major rival, Fort Wayne, and how do you expect the atmosphere to be like for you this season?
I'm sure it'll be pretty fun. It's two pretty rocking buildings, and fans are pretty tough if you're the road team, but if you're the home team, it's pretty fun to play in.
So you also played alongside Cody Sol. How do you expect the season to go for two former Fort Wayne players?
I'm looking forward to it. He's a great guy, and I'm sure the fans will start to enjoy him. He might be one of those guys you hate to play against, but you love to play with him. So for him, it's going to be an adjustment. I remember when I went through it a couple years ago, but it's a pretty neat place to play.
So I asked Cody this as well. So what made you switch teams?
For me at the time, it was contracts and the way things worked out, and I'm even closer to home now. I'm from north of Detroit, in the suburbs there, and so not too far away, so it's pretty nice to be close to home.
So this season, it's a new season, brand new for the Walleye. The Walleye went to the Kelly Cup Finals. So what was that experience like for you?
It was awesome. Getting to play in front of this crowd night in and night out. It was sold out. In the finals, it was a whiteout. It was incredible experience, especially Game 5 there. We won the last minute or two of play. I think the whole rink was standing. I mean, it just gave you shivers. You couldn't hear anything. It was so loud. It was really neat.
So you guys have been doing fairly well last season, really well actually. And are you going to plan to change anything this season, or is there some new things you're going to bring in and new concepts?
We have a lot of new faces, so from that aspect, I think it's very exciting. Have a lot of new energy, guys that know how well we did last year, and so they're going to want to push to help us improve and then win 2 more games in the finals and see what happens from there and see where it takes us. But there's going to be a little bit of the same as well from the standpoint of we had a good group back that's going to help with the leadership aspect as well as just playing the right way night in, night out.
Well, Pat, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
I'm here with the Walleye head coach, Dan Watson. Dan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, before this interview, I was asked that you cook a lot of things in your crock pot. So what do you cook?
You know what? There's several things, and it always depends on what my kids and my wife want for that night. But I guess one of the things we made for a birthday recently for my oldest daughter was some unbelievable mac and cheese. It was phenomenal. It was delicious. Made that with some ribs, and it was a great birthday dinner.
So do you ever cook for the team?
Never. No way. No chances. I don't know if I could cook that much food.
So this season you have some events planned. So what are some major events that you have happening here in the Walleye?
Well, I think overall it's just getting off to a good start in the season. We've got a lot of road games before our home opener in November. We've got a great training camp started into it here, day 2. So I think those are the biggest events right now that I can think of off the top of my head. But every day seems to be an event here. Obviously today with the exciting news of a new player joining our training camp, things like that. When you're with and part of the Walleye, every day is an adventure.
So what are some concepts that you plan to teach your players this season?
Great question. I think right away off the ice, how we conduct ourselves as professionals, how important we are to the city of Toledo, and how we need to make sure that our players are going to the schools, going to the hospitals, they're visible within the community. We want to make sure that our players feel that they are part of the community and the community are part of us. That's first and foremost. And then on the ice, we want to make sure that our players, they know the systems, they know the expectations, the high standards that we have here in Toledo. And I think so far, so good.
So I was told you're a funny person.
Oh, geez. I don't know who told you that.
Well, I got to ask, what are some of your top 2 dad jokes?
Dad jokes. See, now you're putting me on the spot here.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't have dad jokes. I read them on the internet, I steal them, and then I tell them and sell them as my own. So I have to look some of those up and get back to you.
So this season, you guys went to the Kelly Cup Finals last season. So what does that mean to you, and do you plan to go back to the Kelly Cup Finals?
That is the plan. I think that's every coach's plan when they start the season is to get back there. We know, I guess now we know how hard it is to do that. And it takes a lot of preparation. It takes a big process that started here on Sunday with a team meeting. And it's a long season. 72 games of grinding hockey. And then the playoffs, it ramps up that much more. So I think the experience that we got last year, we can certainly bring to the table this year for our new players.
What makes the Walleye different from other teams?
I think number one, obviously the atmosphere that's brought in the Huntington Center by our unbelievable fan base. It's second to none. There's no other team, and you can look at any other YouTube clip of any other team with a sold-out building, and our building's by far the loudest. I think our staff that works so hard day in and day out, whether it's the front office, whether it's the coaching staff, whether it's our support staff, we have the best staff in the entire league. And then just, again, the players that we have here, special players, special people, number one. They do a great job on and off the ice, and I think that's what separates ourselves from other teams.
And finally, when is the opening weekend?
November 2nd and 3rd. We've got a big test against Florida. They're putting together a really good roster. One of the best teams in our league over the last 3-4 years, certainly. And then we get the rival, Fort Wayne Comets, on Sunday afternoon. So it's a big weekend, a great hockey weekend for Toledo, and I can't wait to get it started here at the Huntington Center.
Dan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.